this meeting to order at 9:30. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. The first line of business today would be public comment. We'll start off here and go around the room.
I'm giving my time up to the call.
Okay.
Are we on the time limit?
Well, we do have 2 minutes for public comments. If we decide we need to have a special meeting
Okay.
with you afterwards, we can do something else.
Okay, I'll give my 2 minutes.
It was 6 minutes. In 2020, we had a person up, Burr Canyon Road that applied for a conditional use permit for an RV campground right next to State Highway 4. After getting her permit for this campground, we decided to contest it and fight it. And after about 1.5 years, we were in the right and her permit was revoked for that RV park and campground. When we came to our final meeting, which was with Brittany, because by that time, the planning and zoning department was crap and trash. Brittany came in as our mediator, basically, to tell us what the conditions were going to be. That the manager of this campground shut the campground down, but at the same time, within the Idaho rules, she could do whatever she wanted to with her property, and there was nothing we could do about it. So if she leased those lots out, and those people that were leasing the property decided to put an RV on that lot and live, stay, whatever in that lot, it was perfectly legal. And that her bed and breakfast that was on this property also didn't need to have a permit. And no matter what legalities we threw at her for that situation, she said that it didn't matter. She was in the county. That bed and breakfast did not have to have a permit. And that was the end of our whole thing. So we decided we were going to move because we're not, this is like beating a dead horse. And perceived as she was shut down. She was shut down for exactly never. So she moved in the trailer houses or the RVs on each lot. They were supposed to be leased lots, but then they start moving. Okay, this one moves in, that one goes out. And I kept looking up what the length of time for a lease was. You can't have a lease for 1 day. A lease is anything more than 30 days. Any kind of a lease. It could be anything, but it's more than 30 days. So all these people are still camping up there, but now she's doing it without a permit. And she still has the same advertising that the old commissioners told her specifically through the newspaper article that that was not supposed to be allowed. So now she's advertising for tent and RV camping on her property for, it's like 4 acres, 7 sites, 6 RV tents and 1 tent. She's not allowed to have tents up there at all because she has no sewer facilities. The sewer facilities that she's using are illegal, but she's never been made to totally eliminate this little sewer shack out there. She went from having a flush toilet bathroom that the Panhandle Health came in and told her that was an illegal sewer system. She could not have it. So then when we still complained about it because she continued to use it, then it turned into an outhouse with the same flush toilet and sewer system. And the Panhandle Health came in again and they said, oh, you can't have that outhouse. And they made her totally take all of the facilities out of the little bathroom. But all they did was take a piece of pipe out about this long and said, oh, she's not running the outhouse anymore either. So now she's got 10 spaces and the 10 spaces are advertised with a flush toilet. Where do you think that flush toilet is?
Okay.
We hear you. So,
Okay.
I went to Panhandle Health to have this situation taken care of because they are the enforcement agency And they told me that, oh, we can't go on her property unless we're invited on her property, or we have some reason to go on her property, which would be planning and zoning or somebody giving them the authority to go on that property to investigate the situation. You go down to planning and zoning and they say, we can't go on her property because first of all, she doesn't have a permit anymore. Second of all, you have to have footage or some kind of evidence that this is going on. Where do you get the evidence? You go on the website that she's advertising for and you look at the comment section and she's continually renting these spaces out. I've given you photographs. I've given you
Not you guys, but the old
stuff
commissioners.
for this whole situation. And this is like beating a dead horse. We come home, we still decided that we weren't gonna get into this whole thing until we come home from town grocery shopping. And here's the whole road blocked again. State Highway 4 blocked with her RVs trying to back into these spaces for her campground that's not there. And it gets very frustrating. I don't know what kind of evidence you need to take care of the situation.
But
I
there's
don't-
several sites that she's got on campgrounds that she's got listed. You can go on there the same as Carolyn and look for RV parks and she's still,
And the thing Brittany told us was that the way her advertisement says is that because it's under her name, that that's her private property and she doesn't need to have or shut down her campsite thing because that's totally legal. For her to rent these spaces out under her own name because that's her property, she can do whatever she wants to with the property.
What's the name of the
It's
property owner or ever?
if you look up Creekside in Burke, you'll come under her, all of her advertising, and she's got advertising everywhere. Most of it is under this hipcamp.com. And this is the site. She has a Burke Creekside RV camping and a Lisa J's Burke tent camping that is listed now,
Lisa J's land.
and Lisa J's land.
Okay. Well, thank you for the heads up. It's gonna take more than just this, of course, to do something in it. So, give us a chance to talk to some folks and see if we can find out why it is where it is.
You can have them.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
So,
I'm concerned about this flush toilet thing. It's been more than 2 years. She lost her sewer rights, which she gave up on this entire property in order to have the campground to begin with. When she was going through the conditional use permit process. Yet they allowed her to have this building structure on the property where this bathroom was at and supposedly turn it into storage only.
okay. So, like I said, we're gonna need some time to look into it. Do you have their names?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you could make sure that we have your email or phone, so we have a way of reaching you. If you would leave that with her on your way out so that we have a way of letting you know, following up with this. And, thank you for letting us know about this.
Do I need to make out a formal complaint? Because I have one of these too, but I'd really rather not deal with the planning and zoning department because I haven't gotten any satisfaction out of that whole department.
And especially we don't get along with Dan.
Well,
Dan was
He's the one that caused all this problem.
started this whole process back in 2020.
well, like I said, the best I can do is we can look into it and then get back to you and let you know what we find out.
Okay.
That would be that much.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah, we can look into it, find out what's going on and what's the status and, but you caught me cold. I have no knowledge of this situation, so.
And I think part of the problem is that the county itself does not have any rules, definite rules and regulations for RV parking and camping on county property. The cities are all making rules and regulations for them camping on city property or in city limits and what they have to follow in order to stay in different spaces and stuff, but the county doesn't.
And that may very well be what needs to be addressed. But Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, we don't have an immediate answer for you, but we can look into that.
We didn't expect one.
Okay, let's move on to old business. Commissioners had a chance to look at the minutes. Would entertain a movement to approve. A move to approve.
So move.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 New business, on the consent agenda. We have no beer, wine, or liquor licenses before us today. We've reviewed, everybody's seen the payables this last week. And ambulance district, payables,
No,
have not seen anything from the ambulance
I
district
sent,
this week, but they have an
emails
update.
this morning and showing her example of what we need. We need it by next week because it's been several months.
And we have a 10 o'clock, ambulance update meeting.
Yeah, and I have a copy to give whoever shows up for that too, to make sure it gets to us.
Okay. All right. So we have no action on that item. No homeowners cancellations today. We have a letter from First Interstate Bank renewal, dated for August 3rd of 2022, a renewal letter. Have you all had a chance to look at that? And, am I the only one with questions?
No, I have a lot of questions and I would like to have someone come explain it to us before.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay. So we're going to, I'd entertain a motion that we table that until we can get some information.
Yes, so moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll table the Interstate Bank until we can get a little more information and background on what that is. It's probably a formality, but I don't know. All right. So with that, I would ask, is there any discussion on the consent agenda?
No.
No,
Okay, other than the tabled item and the ambulance districts that we have nothing on yet, would entertain a motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. We are going to have one indigent case today before we break into executive session for that. I will have one last round. Did you have anything you wanted to add today?
Part of the column and stuff was during when we had no planning and road.
What was happening when we were without?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Final comments from the Collins? Anything else you wanted to add real quick?
That or the approach from the state highway was in fact discontinued because she didn't follow what her permit said was supposed to take place. During her conditional use permit process, when she got the state highway ITD permit for her campground up there, and she was issued the permit, it was found that that was revoked because she wouldn't follow the rules. She has never followed the rules.
Okay.
And the comments that we get are, I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do and you're not gonna stop me.
Okay.
Doing it too.
All right. Okay. At that point then, I think we'll need to move into executive session for indigent cases. I would entertain a motion to move into executive session as per Idaho Code 74206D to consider indigent cases.
I'll make the motion to move into executive session.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cassidy? Here. Commissioner Doce?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Here.
All right, folks, thank you very much. You're welcome to come back after indigent